I don't want to. I'm tired. My legs hurt. I'm over it. I'm over it. I feel like let me just work these hours so I can go to Cuba, to Colombia or somewhere. Snatch me down. I'm tired. I'm tired. I don't want to be sore. Figure it out.
Welcome to Thoughts in the Glass podcast. I'm LaToya.
And I'm Kendra.
And this is a weekly podcast where we share our unfiltered thoughts and opinions on a variety of topics.
So grab your favorite drink, sit back, relax, and join us on a journey of fun, laughter, and wonderful commentary.
Period. Every week we do a drink of the night. And so, Kendra, what's our drink tonight?
So tonight's drink is a spiked dragon fruit lemonade. There's two ways you could do this.
Okay.
Right? The way that we're doing it, we muddled together some frozen dragon fruit with a little bit of lemon juice. Muddle. Put it in the shaker. Shakety shake. You put it in your whatever cocktail glass you would like to use. We're using highball glasses, and then pour it in. Strain it in. Excuse me. Top with a lemonade, and there you have it.
Okay. Wait, what was the alcohol?
Sorry, and it's 2 ounces of sorry in my mind in the shaker before you shakety shake. We use my preference is tequila. You can use vodka or whatever add whatever spirit you want.
Yeah,
2 ounces of the spirit because since you're not using any liqueurs or anything like that, you could do a little bit more on your spirit, and you're going to have it in a taller glass, so 1 ounce is just not going to be enough. So yeah, and that's about it.
Cheers.
And you can garnish with some extra dragon fruit on top.
That's good.
It's so good. Now the cheaty way to do it: go to Starbucks and get you a dragon fruit refresher with lemonade in it. Spike that thing up and go on about your day. Because sometimes you might need a little sippy to sip if you're a passenger on the road. You know, you might want to decompress. So
okay, the dragon fruit refresher at Starbucks though has caffeine in it. I mean, it doesn't matter, but I feel like mixing alcohol with caffeine, that defeats the purpose. Right? Because one's an upper, one's a downer.
Well, that's not necessarily true because you can have like your if you do a espresso martini.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So
that's true.
And then or sometimes when you do your coffees and you add that Irish cream, which is a liqueur, which is still liquor but more sugar in it. So
I've never really understood that, but also I'm not really I don't drink to get drunk kind of person. But I never understood like why I would want to mix the two stimulants. You know what I mean? Like if I know caffeine is going to give me that energy boost, why would I mix it with alcohol, which is going to mellow me out?
Because see, what happens is it gives you a balance then. Because if alcohol mellows you out and caffeine has you all the way up here, if you add the two, you're going to be kind of here with it.
Maybe that's what I should do. Okay,
I'm about to say that might be where you need to go.
Maybe that's what I should do because I be sleep.
If you have caffeine, you're like, what's the next step?
It is, yeah.
Then when it's like a little champ or something, you be like, well,
we probably should look into that because I be super sensitive to the stuff. Like that's why I don't be drinking coffee because it makes me like I be getting the shakes.
Yeah, you might need to add a little bourbon add a little spirit into your coffee, and that makes.
But then I feel like my body is really saying you don't need any of it.
Oh, well, that could be the case.
And I'm over here like, no, I just need the right ratio
to manage the ratio. when I'm on vacation, I want to be everywhere.
Maybe that's it. It could be a good vacation kind of tip for me. It's like, because back in the day, I used to do like vodka and Red Bull, but it's just because I like the taste of Red Bull. I just actually like the taste of it. But then I stopped doing it because people were like, "Oh, Red Bull's bad for your heart."
But you're also leveling yourself out. Everything bad for your heart.
Yeah.
They say everything.
But that scared me though.
Like
because I feel like people was having heart attacks from Red Bull.
You have to do it in moderation.
Right.
You know, people drinking Monsters and all that foolishness.
Yeah. Yeah. That just scared me. So I was like, oh, let me. Because you know how you have like your go-to drink? Mm-hmm. That was my go-to drink for a while. Because I like the taste of Red Bull. And it kind of, like you said, it was like a balance. Like I wouldn't get too sleepy on it. But then I just got nervous. Like, is this going to kill me?
You know, what's the other one? It's like the Red Bull, not diet, but like light. It's like, because you know the regular Red Bull is darker blue, and the other one is like a lighter.
I mean, I think it's sugar free. Yeah, oh, it's the lighter version. Yeah, but I think it still has the same amount of caffeine. You just don't have the sugar.
Well, you know, but the thing is, you don't drink a lot of caffeine. Like people that drink Red Bull also drink like coffee.
Yeah, no, I'm not a caffeine person.
Yeah, and it's not like you would drink it every day. These people drink like 3 and 4 Red Bulls a day. Yeah, to stay awake.
I know, but that scared me though. Oh, I just got nervous. Like, I'll be the one. Because I don't drink it all the time. My body not used to it. Oh, child. Anyway, that drink is really good though. I could get into the habit of that. Well, let me not say that for people to be like, oh.
Okay, low lush. well, something says it's right now.
Anyway, moving on. So this week I did go see Deadpool. I actually saw it a couple weeks ago, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. So even though it's been out for about a month, no, about 3 weeks now, but I'll give you my rundown.
Yes, because I have not seen it. So this is no spoilers.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it no spoilers. So the first thing I'll say about it is, I'll start off with this. It is a good standalone. You can watch it without having watched anything else. Mm-hmm. However, there are going to be some inside jokes that you don't get. Mm-hmm. There are going to be some little nuances that you will miss if you have not watched anything else in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay. That doesn't mean that you can't enjoy it, though, as a standalone. Mm-hmm. I would recommend, however, you at least watch the first 2 Deadpools. Okay. And if you have the bandwidth and the stamina, also watch the Loki series on Disney+. Okay. And I say that because what they did with those Disney Plus series is they introduced some elements that they were able to really kind of go in depth and explain. Yes. And then they kind of bring pieces of those elements into the movies. Okay. I personally like that. But I feel like some people get overwhelmed. They're like, it's already 100 movies. Now I got to watch the TV series as well. But it's one of those things where, like, if you're into it, you're into it. Right. And the worlds, they interconnect. And I just enjoy that. I enjoy the callback from different movies, callback from different TV shows, and those weaving in and connecting. I like it. I would say, and this is saying a lot, I would say this is one of my favorite Marvel movies. Really? Yes, and I'm not gonna do a top whatever. We could do that at some other point in time, just because I haven't sat down to really think about which ones I like the most. But I would put it up there with. So I like the most recent Spider-Man, which was Homecoming. Yes, that was so good. I like, of course, both of the Black Panthers. And I like this. Like, this was so good. It's rated R, so keep that in mind. Right. I don't think it's appropriate for kids, honestly. And I know because it's Marvel, people are going to want to take the kids. But I would say you could take, like, the girls, but I wouldn't take Jonathan. Okay. Even though he probably would enjoy it. There's just so many adult things and little inappropriate jokes that I just think it's not for kids. Yeah. But I like that though. Like, everything don't have to always be family oriented. Like, this is not for kids. Right. And I think that they can go a little deeper when they know that children is not their audience, right? And so they do that. I would say the writing is chef's kiss. Okay. I mean, when I say it's funny from beginning to end.
I love Ryan Reynolds.
He is so good.
He's such a
He's
good
so
actor.
good. And he just really brings his the comedic acting.
Yeah.
It just really shines through in this one.
Nice.
The timing of the jokes, you know, definitely the adult nature of the jokes, but it's done, in my opinion, very tastefully. Like, if you watch The Boys, you know how sometimes they can kind of be vulgar just to be vulgar.
Yes.
Deadpool is not like that. It's like there's context to the vulgarity.
Okay.
So yes, he may be talking about, you know, anal sex, but it's in context and it's funny.
Yeah.
So that part was so good. There is a really good plot, a really good theme. I love the fact that they kept the plot line from the previous Deadpool movies. They stick with that plot line. And then of course they bring in Wolverine, which Hugh Jackman is also such a good actor.
He's amazing. I love
them two together, and I didn't realize that they were friends in real life, but you can kind of, their chemistry on screen is really, really good. Hugh Jackman, I kind of was wondering to myself, like, how did he keep a straight face the whole time? Because Ryan Reynolds, he is...
I'm sure they had to do take one take. But he might be used to him being...
He might be used to him being like... But the thing I like about Hugh Jackman is... So if you're familiar with the Wolverine character, you know, he's a little ornery.
Yeah.
You know, like, he's not warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And so he stays in character the entire... Like, he stays in that I'm a badass character the entire time, which was so good. They had a lot of really good choreographed fight scenes. So... I guess I'm kind of nerding out on this a little bit, but if you watch Daredevil, if you watch any of the other more actiony
like
Marvel,
Elektra.
or even like I would say Spider-Man 2, but maybe more so Venom. The fight scene choreography, even in Doctor Strange, the fight scene choreography is really good in the sense of, you ever see superheroes fighting and it kind of looks like the Three Stooges?
Yes.
It doesn't look like that. The fight scenes looked like they were actually fighting. Yeah, it looked really good, you know. So I did like that. They had some really good like cinema moments where like Wolverine would be like in the middle of a kick and then like it slows down and you kind of, so that was super dope. I think they really showed the versatility of Deadpool as a superhero, because I think with him you feel like he's like, for me it's kind of like Ant-Man, where you feel they're like side characters and I feel like they don't really offer much as far as powers, or as far as y'all are not the heroes that are going to save like, you're not the Captain Americas, you're not the Thors, you're not the heroes that are going to save the world per se. But I think in this they kind of showed like a different side of Deadpool, where he could actually be considered in those big names of heroes, right? Which I like that. I like them kind of showing him being a little bit more, I don't know, just like coming through a little bit more than he normally does. So that was good. I would say the best part to me, the absolute best part about this movie though, was the cameos. And I'm not going to spoil it.
Okay.
But I mean, the cameos literally had the theater like gasping audibly. Like every time a new person would pop up, we'd be like, every time they, like, you wasn't expecting this character to be in this, you'd be like, and it was just that was so good. So the cameos, they did their big one with that. They did their big one with that. And I love the way they explained a lot of things. So one big thing, and I love the way he broke the fourth wall, talked to the audience a lot, made a lot of jokes. One of the biggest running jokes in this movie is Disney was finally able to buy the rights of all of the X-Men stuff and all of the other Marvel stuff that Fox had owned. So if y'all not familiar, this is why we have so many Spider-Mans and so many different X-Men movies, is because Fox owned the rights and then Disney owned the characters. So they were kind of like, well, we're going to do our own. And now Disney has recently bought the stuff that Fox had, so now they can kind of bring them together.
Yeah.
And so throughout this movie, he made reference to that over and over again. One of the jokes was that he was saying that Hugh Jackman is with Disney now, and they own you, and you're gonna work for them until you're 90, right? So they were not shying away from
what the critiques that everybody
and the reality of what it is. Like, even though this is a fictional movie, in reality we know that these are actors and they're working for money, and they're working for a different production company now, etc. But what I also liked about it was I personally feel like they tastefully tied in how the two come together, because they didn't leave you with this question of, so y'all just bought the stuff from Fox and now all of a sudden it's a part of your world. No, they gave you a explanation, right? Like, here's how we're gonna bring these kind of universes together. And I did appreciate that. I'm like, yes, give us an explanation, give us something that we can kind of tap onto as an audience. And so I like that. So and at the end, Disney did like a montage of all of the kind of big moments from Fox that they had. Like, they showed like clips from the old X-Men with Halle Berry. They did a lot of they just did like a little montage at the end that I thought was really nice. So anyway, I highly recommend. I know this is coming late, but if you haven't seen Deadpool, I think it's worth seeing in the theaters. I had heard a rumor, and I guess I could have looked it up real quick, but I heard that it's the highest box office movie for this year.
Go ahead.
I think that's what they said. I'm not exactly sure the stats on that. But I feel like it was one of those movies where right now we're in a place where people aren't really going to the movies anymore. And if we do go, we're very particular about what we see in theaters. Especially because
it's expensive.
And there's the option to stream things at home, right? And I guess we've had that option for a while. But now people are starting to really feel like, you know what, I'd rather pay $20 and watch it at home and have it for a couple of days and have my kids and, you know, everybody, we all sit down and watch it, then to try to, so if you were to go and try to take like you, Jonathan, Janae, Jayla, everybody, you probably end up spending $40, $50 when you're like, well, I could pay $20, pop some popcorn at the house, be real nice, and fall asleep on it, and be able to wake up and finish it the next day.
Or if something happened, we have to watch that again.
You can exactly. So I think people are getting more so in that mindset of like, it's more of a benefit to me to just rent it and watch it at home than it would be to actually go to the theater. But I think this is one that it definitely, to me, played better on a theater screen. I mean, I think you could still enjoy it at home, but seeing it for the first time, it felt good being inside of a movie theater. And I think some movies are just like that.
Yeah. You need that
the experience. Experience. So I recommend. I know this is coming a little late, but I recommend.
Okay, so with that, staying kind of in that vein, so Iron Man, Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr., he gone.
No, he's coming back.
Listen.
Okay, sorry.
He put the glove on. He gone. He's gone.
Yeah.
Iron Man gone.
Tony Stark is gone. Yeah.
How do you feel about him switching over to being with the Fantastic Four doing Doctor Doom?
Well, so they're in the same universe, and I feel like
so then it's like, go ahead.
So I feel like what they're gonna do is what they have been doing is kind of saying like, oh, he's a variant. I actually like him coming back. In fact, I like them all coming back. Like, I didn't really care for Endgame when they were killing off some of the bigger heroes. I didn't care for that to begin with. Like, that to me, I was like, why are you doing that? Like, we love these characters.
Yeah.
And I get it, like, they're getting old and they're actors too, so maybe they want to do something different. Yeah. I understand that. But just as a fan, I was kind of like, that's so lame. So I'm excited for him to come back. I mean, he's a great actor. I think he'll do a good job at it. And I think that because he has that experience of being Tony Stark, I think it's an opportunity there to kind of like, I don't want to say like make crossover jokes, but like you could that could be a whole new can of worms of how, and in this universe, instead of Tony Stark becoming Iron Man, he became Victor Von Doom. Like it's so many different ways they can play it. So I'm excited to see how they're going to play it out. The one thing that I'm really hoping, and I don't know if we'll get it, I feel like Disney is to the point where they're like, we got enough money, we ain't got to deal with it. I do want to see, oh boy, I know, I don't even know why I did
Tell me
that.
what they do. What do they do?
He was the one, Megan Good's boyfriend.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking, because he was upset that he was not.
So, because he was in Loki, where he played the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I hope, because he is just a really good actor, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? He got stuff going on. Jonathan Majors, yes. I understand, people are like, oh, he's abusive and this and that. And I'm like, y'all, okay. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not saying we should excuse people's bad behaviors, but I will say this. One, I have to really go back and look at that court case again, because I believe that he was not found guilty of abuse charges.
No, it was just because he
was found guilty of harassment charges.
Was it her? I thought it was just when he actually got, which is a misdemeanor because of when he grabbed her wrist.
So it was an assault charge?
Yes, like something like that. But very but it was a misdemeanor. That's why he never had any time served or anything like that. It was just because they saw that he did not get any of the abuse, the allegations that she brought up, any of that. It was just because on camera you do see him
assaulting her. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So so why I am delineating down like that is because other actors have had other things happen, where I believe Robert Downey Jr. himself has had some assault charges in his past.
Assault charges, drunken, between him. What's the one that plays? And I was just talking about him the other day. He's in Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Right.
So sorry to cut you off, but even and they haven't really put it out there like that, but they married now. They were in that 70s show together.
Oh, Mila Kunis
and
Ashton Kutcher.
Stuff about how old she was when they first started dating.
Yeah.
There are some things.
Right. Yeah. And so I just really hope that he can
kind of bounce back.
Yeah, repair that relationship with Disney, because I would just really love to see him work in the Marvel universe, because just that, to me, especially since Lovecraft Country, I feel like he's really good at the fantasy stuff. I just do. I think he's a dynamic actor, and he's really good at that. And so I would really love to see him back in the universe in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So that's my only kind of pitch on that, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I like it. I like it.
You into it.
I feel like, give us something. You know what I mean? Like, give us a little something. Let's kind of figure out. I love when they take like something that you have, even though I'm not really big into comic books, but when they take something that you kind of seen, like maybe in a cartoon form or in a comic book form, you kind of have one view of it, and then they kind of reimagine it in a different way.
Yeah.
And it's like, I just want to see if the way they do it is going to be similar to how I envisioned it in my mind. For the most part, I feel like they've done it good.
Yeah.
Certain things I'm like, I didn't envision it like this, or that's not how that person would be. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
But I do like to see that. I like to see, like, what can y'all come up with that will kind of pull from something that we all, like with Spider-Man, like a lot of us grew up watching the cartoon or even reading the comic book. So to see these characters portray that,
jump out the page.
Yeah, I love. It's something about that to me that's really nostalgic, and I like seeing it. Yeah. So I'm excited for it. Marvel's got a bunch of movies coming out over the next couple of years. I don't know if we're gonna be able to keep up with everything because they are redoing Fantastic Four. They're doing the Thunderbolts. They're doing Venom. Man, it's a bunch. They're doing another Captain America. This time with the Falcon is going to be the main character. So there's a bunch of stuff coming out this year that I'm like, are we even going to be able to keep up?
I'll be up in there. I'm going to try.
Anyway, so that's my review on that.
Okay, so I got to make a movie date.
Yeah.
We had talked about seeing it, but just been so busy with all of the things.
Yeah. Back to school.
Back to school, back to life, getting ready for this cruise. It's just a lot. The end of the summer it's a drag because it's the end of the summer. It's a drag because school's getting ready to start. And then for me, we have this one big boost of, we're going on a cruise. It's going to be a 9-day, situation. But then you come back and it's like time to get ready for the holidays, and it's going to get darker earlier, and it's all I notice now it's a little darker closer to 8, and it's slowly and I'm like, daggone, god dang, because you feel like in the summer, even if you get off at 6 o'clock, you still feel like you have a day.
Yes.
In the winter, you get off at 6 o'clock. Where is the bed?
Yeah,
it feels like it's midnight.
It do,
and I'm tired. So I haven't really been doing anything, just trying to get everything. We just finished getting everything together. Of course, you guys know with Janae graduating, my birthday. My mom threw so we all went on a cruise last year, family cruise. So this is like our get together since we didn't cruise this year. We all got together. She did like a Caribbean style party, because it's not I want to call it a cookout because it wasn't like hamburgers, hot dog okay. And so she did skewers, we did rice and beef, and she did a rum cake. They had pulled pork, we had pulled pork sandwiches. So that was really, really, really nice. So we had a good time kind of getting together. So that's it. That's all I kind of was doing. Yeah. We hung out with Tiffany for her birthday. Shout out to Big Tiff.
Her 40th. It's a lot of y'all Leos. It's a lot of Leos.
Because me and Whitney share a birthday. Come on, rest in peace, Whitney Houston.
It's a lot of Leos. It's today. The 14th is Halle Berry, Magic Johnson, and Marsai Martin. All of their birthdays are today. So happy birthday to them. And happy Leo season. Happy Leo season. Y'all out here. It's a turn up.
It's a time. I'm sorry, y'all. I am deliriously sleepy. We have been... This would piss me off, too. I ain't say nothing to him. But it pissed me off. His friend got an Apple Watch.
Okay.
And so now all of a sudden he wants to, I put a 7-day challenge up for you. Why? You and, I can't remember his friend's name. I put it for the three of us. And I was like, oh, your friends now all of a sudden get an Apple Watch and now you want to start challenging folks. Get out.
But I put a 7-day challenge up for you. Like.
He's like, what you going to do? Are you going to accept or not? I don't want to. I'm tired. My legs hurt. I'm over it. I feel like, let me just work these hours so I can go to Cuba, to Colombia or somewhere. Snatch me down. I'm tired. I don't want to be sore. Figure it out.
I mean, but you sticking with it. You still in there. You still doing it.
I'm stressed. And then it's like, because I am calorie counting, to work out and calorie count, my body is like, where's you don't have enough energy. you need to eat more.
Yeah.
But because I have been only eating a certain amount of calories for like 2 months now, my body I'm not hungry.
Yeah.
And I can't force myself to eat because then I just feel like sluggish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So he's went and picked me, he's supposed to be picking me up some, where's your protein? I said, no, you didn't ask me this every time we come back from the gym and I tell you I don't have any.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? Either step up or shut up. So he's going to get me some today.
So it's his responsibility to make sure you have protein?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
If you're telling me, oh, your body is sore because you need protein, well, sir, where is it? You expected me to do it? No.
You did your part.
I did my part. I showed up. At 4 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday.
Okay.
He texted me this morning, and I was like, he's like, we're going to go to Marsai. We can go at 5 tomorrow. And I was like, okay. He texted me instead of call. And so at 6, like my body, I usually always wake up around 6:30. So at 6 o'clock, I jumped up like, now I feel like the light is starting to shine through. What's going on? So I was like, why would you only text me? He was like, I mean, I knew you was tired. No. So because yesterday he also said
no, because he didn't want to get cussed out.
No, yesterday I wasn't tripping. He was like, what you want to work on tomorrow? I said, stay and sleep. What are you talking about?
That's why he texted you.
Right. But he was supposed to call me. Like a text message, that little ding is not going to wake me up.
He was like, she already don't want to go. Let me text her.
If she's out, we'll go. If she's not, I ain't going to bother her. So I was like, why you just text me? He was like, man, I mean, we can ask. He's like, what you want to do? Because I'm still getting there later on. And I was like, let's just go.
Good job. I'm proud of you for even just going. Because you could get into a space of like, I don't feel like it. I'm not going to go.
Because I do it. My mom be like, girl, what do you need me to say for you to stay in this bed? Because I tell you everything you need me to say for you to stay asleep. And I was like, no brain. I'm not going to let you play this trick on me. We getting up in there.
So speaking of that, I was having a conversation with one of the ladies at Tiffany's birthday party about how much time we take for ourselves, right? So like you going to the gym, making that a priority, kind of taking that time for yourself. What would you say, like, how much value do you place on like time?
So I definitely place a lot of value on time. One thing I always say, I can get more money. I can't never get no more time, right? And I always bring it back to when I lost Justin and realized I was working 2 jobs for 8 years. So yes, we were still doing things, but it's not like we would so I would work my regular job, come home, we would do some stuff in the afternoons or whatever. But of course, school was still going on. We could do stuff in the summertime because you have longer days. But you talk about in the winter, we're not doing anything. Inside and I work weekends and I work midnight shift. So I'm going in at 12, getting off at 7. So I'm trying to get a little nap in. So at least I'm not grumpy. So 10 o'clock, but at 10 o'clock on a Sunday. Yeah. Because I don't have to then go back to work until the next Monday morning. Right. But if I work Friday night, Saturday morning, I'm trying to figure out what we're going to do. But I need to be asleep by 6, 7 o'clock because I got to go back to work the night, that next night. So it was just so much of, I had a conversation with myself and I was like, if God forbid the Lord said, okay, I'm going to take you today, but I want you to watch back the last 8 hours of your life or 16 hours of your life. Were the things that you did necessary or was it being greedy because you want to live a certain lifestyle, right? Did you need to work those extra hours or was it because, if I work these extra hours, then we can do this or we can do that. And maybe if you just cut back what you do regularly, your full-time job would just be enough. But and that's where I started to kind of reevaluate my time. Yeah. And then I always felt guilty if I did something by myself on the days that I have off because I'm like, well, I work all the time and I never do get a chance to do stuff with the kids. So then I prioritize making sure that they have a good life and I'm showing up and I'm available. So then I put myself on that back burner. And so then realizing like, that's not going to work because if you're not full, you can't be the best parent, can't be the best friend, can't be the, so I'm like, I will not do things just to have the peace of mind of I'm gonna sleep in. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna spend time with my kids. I'm going to nurture it because the longing for I don't want my children, years from now when I'm long gone, to be like, well, I wish I just had more time with them or
Mm-hmm.
with her. I want them to be like, we lived out like we had a ball. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't have asked for anything else
Mm-hmm.
from my mother. And I know, and I want to say when I'm on the other side and I look at my life, like I couldn't have asked for more time. Like I've done all the things.
Yeah.
I've had the experiences. Like I lived a full and happy, loving life. And I'm not going to spend my time at somebody's job when it's not a necessity. Like if it's paying my bills, doing this, doing that, we can still vacation, stuff like that. But then also taking that time, like, okay, yeah, I don't feel it's 24 hours in a day. I may not feel like going to the gym, but at 4 a.m. I'm in that gym.
Yeah.
Because that's the time where I know Joshua will be home with the kids. He's going to still be asleep. I just have to get in there and do it.
Yeah.
Me resting, I will have plenty of time to rest. And part of that is making that time for rest and relaxation and things like that, going on these trips. Like you work so hard to give yourself and your loved ones the best life, but you only wake up with you, so you got to be happy with you every day, all day.
And I think too, it's easier said than done, right? So like I do realize that it's easier said than done, and it's also to I mean, I'm not saying that I can't speak on it, but I do feel like it's harder for parents. Like I think for me, it's a little bit easier. Like I definitely prioritize time. Like if I don't feel like going to work, I'm not going. I will call in. Like I don't feel like it.
Right.
I'm not going.
Today's not the day.
If I don't want to do something, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know I told you I was gonna come help with this, but girl,
I'm not here for it.
I'm not doing it today. I don't have a problem doing that, but I also realize that it can be harder when you do have kids because it's like you can't sometimes, well, not even sometimes, but you're not able to say to the kids like, I don't feel like it today. I can't do what needs to be done. It's like you gotta, they need it, so like you gotta get up and do what needs to be done.
So I'll say this: when it comes to the kids, you have to actually have real conversations with your children because there are times when they're like, "Mama, I don't really feel like it," and so I go ahead and I let them live in that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So the parents will be like, "Well, I don't care if you feel like it. You need to get up." Then when you want to have that same because you don't feel like it, your kids are like, "Well, you make me get up." That's the mindset, right? Yeah. So if my kids are like. And it's small things, and I know I'm like, yeah, I need to clean your bathroom. I don't care when it gets done, but it needs to be done before this time. Right. Today you may not feel like it. Right. I have girls, so I'm on my cycle. I don't, today is just not the day. There are days where the day is just not the day. Also, when the kids are like, well, can we go to the mall? We've been in the house all week, but I've been at work. I know it's summertime, baby, but I've been at work all week. So, no, not today is not the day. Today is just not the day. And it's like they might be frustrated or irritated, like I always want to get out the house. But I did make sure that these lights are on and you got this cable, but being understanding that, so when it's times where, well, I don't feel like riding with you, or I don't feel like getting up early, or I don't feel like helping you cook in the kitchen, you may feel disappointed, but you also know, I know it's many a times that I may have to disappoint my own children, but it's like, we are still people. Yeah. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've always told my kids, like, no matter how you look at me, yes, I am your mother, but I'm still a person and I still have feelings. I still don't feel like doing stuff. If I have a headache and I'm like, you know what, I'm just so super tired. They are more, excuse me, because we have that type of relationship, they are easily like, okay, well, you want me to grab forgiving? Yeah, you want me to grab you something to eat? Or I'm like, listen, I don't feel like cooking, I'm about to order something. Okay, whatever, so they understand the dynamics of the household, but it's just being honest with your kids.
And I think too, that's a great example, right? Setting them up because I think sometimes when parents kind of make things look so perfect or make it look like I'm super mom, I never let you down, I've always been there, it kind of sets like an unrealistic example for the child to feel like, now I have to be, because my mom never let me down. She never did. Now I have to be super mom. But it's like, actually, when you show a little bit of vulnerability, or when you, like you say, have those real conversations and let your kids know, like, I'm human too.
Right.
I only get 24 hours in a day just like you.
Right.
And I'm working for half of that time. Like, I know you in school, I'm at work.
Right.
So when we get home at the end of the day, we're both pretty much drained.
Right.
But I'm expected to still kind of be
Push through.
on and provide and do what I need to do as a parent. And most of the times I will do that. But realize that I get tired too.
You can't burn me out.
Yeah.
And that's what we'll have that, like, especially with the kids get home, of course, much earlier than me. So when I come in, you all are just getting up from your nap. Okay, well, go ahead and make the spaghetti. And I'll, or
at least get it started, because I didn't get a chance to take a nap.
And so I'll come back, I'll wash the dishes out, because I like to wash them the way I like to wash them. Or, put the stuff away. And they're so good with, like, oh, we put some aside and put it in, put it in the refrigerator for your lunch. Like, because we don't, as Black people, have the community that we used to, where Big Mama had already cooked dinner and you just came home to grab a plate, or I'm picking up the kids, so she already made your plate, whatever. My community is my household, and we have to work together in that. Yes, I am the head of the household, but I am the leader in this, not the boss.
Right.
So I'm gonna get in there in the mix with you, but I'm also making certain sacrifices that you all don't have to.
I love the way you describe that. Like, I'm the leader, not the boss, and we all are a team in the household. Like, I think, and I get it, y'all. Like, don't eat me up. I know I'm speaking from, like, an outside perspective, but I do feel like that can be so empowering to kids, to feel like it's not just mom tells me what to do, but it's a team environment. I'm a part of the team. I'm a part of how we move forward.
Is this household going to be successful?
I'm a part of whether the household is going to be successful. I think that can be really empowering, especially to younger kids who kind of feel like it's just demands. I'm just a robot doing what you asked me to do.
Right.
I think it's a different spin on it when you say, hey, you're not just a robot, you're a part of the team. And even though I say, like, I'm speaking from outside experience because I don't have little children in my house, but even when I'm watching other people's kids, when my cousins come over for the weekend, I explain to them what the weekend is going to be about.
Right.
Hey, number one, we're going to go to the store and get some snacks, because I don't keep Takis. That's just not a part of my grocery list or my diet.
Right.
So we're going to go and get the snacks that you all like to eat.
Right.
And then when we bring them home, this is the only grocery store trip I'm going to make. So get everything you're going to get. When it gets to my house, that's what you have for the weekend. We'll order pizza, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do the next day for dinner. But, like, here's the plan, so you all know what it is.
Right.
Now, when we get to Sunday and you've eaten everything and you ran through all your stuff, I already told you when I picked you up on Friday, I'm not going back to the store.
Right. You got to wait till 5 o'clock when your mama comes, baby, because it's over for you.
So but to me, I feel like I get good results with that because they understand what's going to happen for the week. It's not like me just saying, don't eat this, don't do that. No, you're a part of the conversation.
Right.
Here's what you need for the weekend. Here's our plan of what we're going to do. Here's my expectation of you. Don't fuck my house up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you come over and you break stuff, so the next time you come, then no, we can't play PlayStation. Because the last time you came, you broke the controller. I'm not replacing it, no.
Right.
It just, we don't have it no more.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
the controller. I don't know.
Yeah. So and typically when I have them, we usually don't have any problems because I feel like they're invested. Like, okay, we was able to make a plan. We know what we're supposed to do for the weekend. You know, they're invested. So it's like, it's just different where when they're home, like my aunts will say like, oh, they just fuck up everything when they're home. But I'm like, maybe it's because they don't feel like they're a part of the team at home.
It's because all children are different when they're not at home.
Well, that's true.
So because my kids, I mean, when they go to other people's house, they are like very much so secluded in their little. They play very well. Nana Papa's house, all over the place. My house, all over the place. But I also feel like my house is lived in because we live there.
Yeah.
And I want them to be comfortable, but not like, but then teaching like, okay, this is the pigsty now, Jonathan. You've been chilling up in this joint It's
But
time
but
to
I'm
refresh,
sure Jonathan probably knows because of how you have the environment set up. I'm sure he knows, hey, if I don't do my part with certain things, there's consequences to that. And so I'm gonna make sure I do my part because I don't want to
not have turn that game off.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's I think that happens, but now we're talking because you kind of shared that video on successful results because of trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And at first I was like, I don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
And so now thinking about it, in the way that she framed it, because she more so framed it about like having it with your parent or mother. She's framed it in mother, right? I don't necessarily have it with my mom. I think I have it with a joint parenting situation because of me having Justin early. And so it was like, oh, this is the end of your life. You know, at 18, you're just graduating from high school. Oh, this is just going to be the end of your life. And I am a advocate of I'm going to prove you wrong. And so I get into the hamster wheel of proving you wrong. And the wrong, like I've done the proving, but I can't get off of this hamster wheel. So I'm just like, like when I'm talking about like working the 2 jobs and this and that, because my mindset was like, well, y'all said my life is over, but now I'm gonna give my children all the things that I had and maybe more. A little bit more. You know, so I was talking to Janae the other day. I was just talking about a few things, and one of the things she was talking about was like how she was like, I don't tell you all the time, Mom, but I'm proud of you, man, because I don't believe you be bragging on you because for you to have had, because at this time I was pregnant with Jonathan, but she was like, you had 3 kids, you bought your house by yourself, you were working your job, we always had stuff, we still went on vacations. Jonathan and Joshua both have had, like, Jonathan got his passport when he was 1 and some change. Joshua was 6 months. Was it 6 months? Might have been getting ready to turn 1. Okay. Maybe like 9 months or just turning. I think he was in the process of turning 1 because we did his like 2 weeks before he turned 1. Okay. My girls have had their passports. They've now not just had it, but had it and had them renewed. So I didn't get my passport until I was grown. Yeah. So some of the things that my parents maybe didn't do with us, I'm like, the things that were important to me. Okay, if I have a passport, my kids gonna have a passport. Yeah. And they can do the same. Now I'm looking at, okay, we travel. I think I took my first, like my parents are, and again, this is something different, but they are Royal Caribbean. They have their points. They Diamond Plus and all this, that, and the fourth. My first cruise was as an adult. And so I was in this mindset of, I'm going to give my kids something that I didn't have. Like we've done it. I'm not saying that we didn't do trips and things like that, but I'm going to take it to the next level. Yeah. And so I bringing it back to, I was like, because of the trauma, because of the not trying to be a statistic, or
even feeling judged,
trying not to be judged. All of these things forced me to be like, I'm going to go so hard that you can't say nothing. Yeah. And so being on that hamster wheel of success in trauma, I'm slowly starting to like put one of my foot down to put the brakes on.
Do you feel like, I mean, you kind of answered the question, but do you feel like that had a impact on, you know, now my time that I could be giving to my kids is over here working 3 jobs because I had this mindset of, I got to give y'all everything and more.
And that's what it was. And then when it gets to the point where you reach that, I took a look at doing all of these things and giving my kids all of the things. The things did not make love, right? And so we had a time when, because my little cousins talked about this the other day. She just turned 18 as well, and she was like, Kendra, do you remember that time when you had us come over and I got like from like the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, like strobe lights, and we just did like a in the house party. We did s'mores on the grill. I ordered pizza. You know, we were just kind of like very like, and I think it was like the Little Caesars, like,
Mm-hmm.
$5 pasta.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
made a time, right? Went to the mall to go trick or treating, So when we was broke, the imaginations was
Yeah.
was working.
That's all you had.
Right. And so they talk about like that was one of the best memories that I had.
Mm-hmm.
So that don't have nothing to do with the things. Ain't nobody get a present.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was the time and the effort put into it. So now that I'm kind of putting the brakes on things, being able to, yes, we are able to do things that cost money, but we're all together
Yeah.
in it,
Yeah.
So um, I'm definitely trying to heal that trauma in that.
Mm-hmm.
And like
Mm-hmm.
you the success is not based on somebody else's level. Do you, Kendra, feel successful? Do you feel that you've done right by your kids? Do you feel that you've done all that you can do? Because now, with that, realizing that I was rating other people's success in that same light, and realizing like, oh no, baby, they have other things that they feel is successful. You're putting the same burden that somebody put on you on somebody else, and that's not fair.
Absolutely.
So the level of success, it depends on where they are and how they feel about it. As long as they ain't coming and asking you for money and they're down bad, that's their business. So
Absolutely. I can relate to that in the sense of, I think for me, I don't think I was ever trying to prove a point to anybody, but I definitely had this idea of success meaning independence, in the sense of I don't have to ask nobody for nothing, right? So I I feel like for me it shows up in a form of like hyper independence, as they call it now,
yes,
to where
yes.
it's like you basically have put yourself in a position where really nobody can help you,
Right,
right?
right,
And it's not on purpose.
right.
It's just, I think, growing up in an environment where I didn't feel like I had, let me put it like this. I grew up in an environment where I felt like it would be more of a burden for me to depend on
someone else,
and
then depending on them, and then getting let down when they couldn't do.
Not even that, but it's just like, you see other people kind of leaning back on the resources.
Yes.
So it's like, I'll use this as an example, even though I don't have any children. My grandmother she didn't work, so she was able to watch everyone's child.
Right.
So for me, I felt like I'm not going to have another child
for
her to watch.
Yes.
Like, me having a baby just creates another burden for her.
Right.
Now, she never opened up her mouth and said
but you
that would be a burden for me,
right.
but that's how I internalized it. Like, she's watching everybody's kids.
Right. And that's not fair to her.
Why would I add
and that's
how
you're looking at it. And she could be like, I love the children.
Exactly.
Yes.
But it was just my own personal, that's how I internalized it. Like, I'm not going to add on to that. Yeah. So for me, it was like, now I gotta do whatever I can to develop my life in a way where I'm not
my own resources. I'm not putting it on somebody else. I could pay somebody to watch my kids. I could pay somebody to clean my house. I'm not.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't necessarily feel as though that's a bad thing, but it definitely, I do kind of feel the effects of it now, where it's like I can't really ask nobody for nothing. It's just.
It's taken me a long time to do that. It's taken me a long time. But I tell you what, Devon, you going to help me pay for these ties? You going to split this alone with me?
Even in my marriage, it's hard.
Yeah, not child. And it's been hard. And I will say this. It's been hard. It was very much so difficult until he forced me to realize he can match me.
Well, see, for me, okay, so this is kind of, I don't know if it's toxic, right? But for me, once I realized that, like, you can match me, I kind of feel like, okay, now I can be even more individualized in my thinking, because I know you good. Meaning, like, okay, so maybe in a situation we can back each other up, right? Like, well, if you don't got it, I got it, right? But if I'm looking at you and I'm like, I know you have it, it's never going to be a time where you don't have it. I'm not even considering that you may need me as a backup. I'm actually going to go and do something else and like take myself further.
Yeah. Well, when I say, let me clarify. So when I say match me, I also mean like I'm somebody that's like, oh, is that you short on such and such? Oh, I'll help you. I got it. This and the four. We could be having a conversation, and because I do that just automatically, because he might be talking about something else, and I'm like, oh well, I'll put gas in the car, or I'll do such and such, because that's an automatic for me. I never had someone who was able to reciprocate in the way of me not even having to ask. It just gets done sometimes. So now it's like I've gotten to the point where I'm just like, oh, the car need gas, and that's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Then the car gets gas, or man, these tires are going to be such and such. All right, well, I'll split it with you. It's not like me asking, but now I feel more comfortable if I need to, because the offer is already there. So that's what I mean, because I'm the type of person that's going to be like, oh, no, I got you. Oh, we're going out to dinner. Get what you want. We outside, kind of thing. And he like, get what you want, because we outside. Right. So now I'm like, oh, what I really want is these ties. Right. I really need a new door. Right. So it's gotten to that point. So now it just makes, I'll say this, he's made an environment where it's comfortable to ask and not feel like I'm going to be judged. Because I'm still waiting, trying on that hamster wheel of, I don't want nobody to judge me to say that because I don't have it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. That was on a tangent, but I feel like that was good. So okay, to wrap it up, currently now, in what ways do you feel like you are making time for yourself?
So, and that was a new one. My whole birthday thing, because I have plans for everybody. I have plans for to do that, and really just be like, y'all figure it out. This one weekend, y'all figure it out. Going to the gym, and I don't do it as much. I'm trying to get my mind around it. Taking off. Taking off, but no. Don't do me, because even though I don't got 2 jobs, my first thing be like, but that overtime.
I was thinking that
overtime.
When you was talking about the jobs, I didn't want to expose you, but I was like, she still be working crazy hours.
But I took off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
That's true. That's true.
I did an extra day. Listen, I can only do what I can do. I can only do.
But then you be like, the next week you'll be like, so how can I get those? How can I get those hours back?
Like, what days do I need to be off, because I need to get their hours in? Because I would tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. In the wintertime, I'm not gonna go as hard, because I don't like driving like that in the dark or coming home that late. Like summertime is when I really be like energized to do it, because I'm getting in early. It's kind of still dark, but then by the time I'm getting off, even if it's 6 o'clock, I still really have a full day. Yeah. And if Joshua was already home, I'm like, because the other day he had to cut hair, so we didn't get a chance. So I was like, well, because we carpooling, and I was like, well, you want me to treat you to dinner? Because we getting off. It was 6:30, still light outside. I'm like, these are prime times to go to a happy hour and sit outside without the children. Yeah. So,
although to me, I'm in my mind, I'm like, I gotta get over that though. Like, because I'm like you, like I don't like to be out when it's dark, but it's like at the end of the day
gonna end.
Literally, the day is gonna end, and I can't.
It's too many I'm gonna just be honest. I am becoming my mother. It's too many unsavory characters.
I know, but like, it's still 6:30. So like, whether the sun is out or not out, it's still 6:30.
Child, it's 6:30 when it feel like midnight.
I know, but I'm feeling like lately I gotta push myself out of that. Because it's like when it comes to time, I'm the one that's losing. Yeah. Because it's like you don't want to go to a happy hour at 6:30 in November,
It's
but you would go
cold.
at 6:30 in August.
Because I'm still in my, because I don't got to put my, it just become, you know what it is, and they talk about it all the time. It's that,
The seasonal depression. Yeah.
I have it some.
I mean, but I feel like the
bad.
way to kind of get out of it is to keep doing the things that you know,
do.
like that. Yeah, but then it's like we don't because we be like, oh, it's dark, it's cold.
I think
so. I'm just trying to push
that,
myself out of that mindset.
Not having that because I'm vitamin D deficient.
Yeah,
and because of the summertime with the sun, I
Yeah.
actually feel better.
Me too.
And so I think we're gonna try.
We're gonna try.
We're gonna just start like pumping ourselves
Yeah.
and see
just see
if that helps.
I think for me, so one of the ways that I prioritize like time for myself, and I know I've said this before, is my calendar.
Listen.
I have to put things on my calendar, and you know, like I feel like sometimes it gets a little ridiculous. Like when I tell you like I don't have anything on the calendar, I need to find something to put on there. But I know me, and I know that if I get to like
comfortable
if I get to like a weekend and it's like, damn, I don't have nothing planned. I'm just sitting around the house. Like I could be like, all right, let me try to get into something last minute, but that creates its own level of anxiety.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's just for me, it's better for me to already, even if it's me and Kendra going to the mall, if I already have something on the calendar,
right,
that I know I'm doing, that I can, you know, block off like, hey, let my family know, like, hey, I'm doing this. Y'all know I'm not going to be home at this time, whatever. Like, I can really just prioritize that time and make sure that, like, I have carved out that moment for myself. That's been super helpful. When I try to be random and just, like, randomly do stuff, to me, it doesn't accomplish the goal because I feel like there's so much anxiety around that. That it just, instead of it being like time for me for myself, it ends up being I don't know, like it ends up creating an environment of I'm not really enjoying this the way I could be. I'm just doing it
because I need something to do.
Yeah. Yes. And I have took my mind down a spiral of what I'm going to wear, what time I'm going to get there, what are all the details. I've done all of this just to get out the house when I could have had something simple on the calendar, been already prepared for, had an outfit ready,
and been done.
Yeah.
I am more productive and have more fun when I do have things that are planned out.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be like intricately planned out, but at least like knowing, like, you know, if we say like, well, let's try to do a happy hour next Wednesday. We may not know where we're gonna go. We may not know all the details, but we do know next Wednesday after work we're gonna try to do a happy hour. So then at least my brain can be already like prepped for that.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I like to do too now, if I see an event, and I've been doing this for a while, but if I see an event or something that I want to do, I'm not waiting for
nobody else.
Listen, Usher coming into town, I want to see him. I'm getting tickets. I'm going.
And you know what, I am like that, but I'm also getting to a space because again, I've had my kids early, so I always had a companion. I don't like going places by myself. You out?
Listen. I don't love going places by myself either, but the alternative is
to not go.
I'm waiting around for people and I miss the opportunity and I don't go.
Yeah.
So if it's something like, and granted, you know what I'm saying, having a little bit of money helps. If it's something where it's like, okay, the tickets aren't that expensive, I'll just go ahead and buy 2 tickets. Because in my mind, I'm thinking, I can always find somebody to go with me later. Yeah. But if I don't buy the tickets now, the event gonna get sold out and I'm gonna miss it, right? But sometimes it's too expensive. Like for the Usher concert, I bought 1 ticket.
When is the Usher concert?
August 24th.
I could be here.
Yeah. So
y'all would be here. I'm thinking
you'll
September.
be here. I think you'll be here. Yeah, you'll be here. But yeah, it was just a situation of
I didn't even know he was coming to town.
I'm not waiting on nobody. The tickets have been announced. I know I want to see him. We were talking about how we didn't go to see him in Vegas.
We didn't go to Vegas.
And I just said, fuck it. I'm going to just get a ticket and go. But stuff like that, I found that I have to do, like, in order to make time for myself. Like, if I see something I want to do, I just got to do it.
Oh, he get for a nice little long time.
Well, he doing Baltimore and he doing DC.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But he's doing, are you going to Baltimore?
Yeah, I'm going to go to Baltimore.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
At 8 o'clock on the 24th. Let me see how much sleep check us on. Oh, child. Oh, child. Oh, child. Wait a minute. Child.
Usher ain't playing. Usher ain't playing.
Said, come on outside if you want to.
I know, and he kind of irritated me a little bit because the Usher tickets was more expensive than Beyonce.
Ooh, but you know what? That residency is why. I
know. But I was like, I'm just going to do it because I didn't get to see him in Vegas and I really wanted to. And I know he's going to put on the show. So I just said, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. Yeah.
Because what you could do, make more money, can't handle more time. I don't know how much time. I'm going to ask him when he picked me up. I'm going to say, you want to go see Usher?
Well, yeah, it was show him with the tickets looking like, oh yeah, okay.
I trick out order.
Okay.
I'm like, don't bother me now.
Well,
was that on that note?
Good episode.
That was another amazing episode. I hope you guys had a good time hanging with us. Make sure you
like, subscribe, hit the notification button,
and drop down in them comments. And until then, we're going to drink to that. Yes, Joe. Ooh,